Yeah, Warren, just want to kind of maybe follow up on those past two questions because there is sort of a theme there. It seems to me that there's definitely more of a home country bias when we look at the acquisitions and investments that Berkshire's done historically. And while there's definitely value in sticking with what you know and feel the most comfortable with, it seems like you've gone from a model that was originally focused on putting boots on the ground to find investment and acquisition opportunities to one where you're seemingly more content to have sellers or the representatives call you or drop by the office, basically more of a pull model than a push model. There's nothing wrong with this, but I just wonder if the opportunity cost that comes with this type of model is that Berkshire misses out on a lot of overseas business where owners are unaware of your willingness to step up and buy them outright and allow them to run their companies under the Berkshire umbrella, and missing stocks investment opportunities because Berkshire's not necessarily familiar enough with the local market. At this point, do you think Berkshire would benefit from putting more boots on the ground in these overseas markets?
Yeah, we actually must have been, after we bought his car, Eitan Wertheimer convinced me that we should get more exposure in Europe, and he helped out in doing that. I went over, he arranged various meetings. We've had a lot of contact. It isn't that they're not aware, and we do hear about some, but we do have the problem, they got to be sizable. I mean, if we do a $1 billion acquisition and it makes $100 million or thereabouts pre-tax, $80 million after tax, it's if we really know the business and we're sure we're not going to have a problem with the people running it being motivated in the future and doing a similar job as to when they had their own money in and everything, it's nice to add 80 million to 25 billion, but you can't afford to spend lots of time doing that. And we gain something by having Todd and Ted do some looking at things, screening them, and all that sort of thing. But in the end, you want some family that's held their business in Europe or in the UK for 50 or 100 years that can make a deal and that wants to do it with Berkshire. I mean, if they're looking to get the most money, if they want to have an auction, we're not going to win and we're not going to participate because we're not going to waste our time on it. If we form a acquisition crew, they'll acquire something. I mean, I've watched so many institutions in operation that if your job every day is to go to work and screen a bunch of things with the idea that you're the strategic department or acquisition department, you're going to want to do something. I want to do something, but I don't want to do something unless Berkshire benefits by it and clearly benefits by it, and it's generally it's of a size.
Warren, our problem is not like a boots on the ground. Our problem is the people on the ground are paying prices that we don't want to pay.
Yeah.
That's our problem. And that problem is not going to be cured by boots.
We can spend $100 billion in the next year. That is not a problem.
No.
Spending it intelligently is a huge problem.
Our competitors are buying with somebody else's money, and they get part of the upside and take none of the downside. And that is hard to compete with people like that.
Yeah, they'll leverage it up. They'll make a lot of money if it fails, and they'll make even more money if it succeeds. And that's not our equation.
No.
And that isn't always that way, but it's certainly that way now. It's probably
it's not in the shareholders' interest that we get to be like everybody else.